Hi, I'm Amy,
And I'm Sam.
and we're bad at watching movies.
But we're good at falling off of stages, falling off of surfboards, and falling in love.
In this episode, we'll be discussing the 2013 Disney Channel movie, Teen Beach Movie. Okay.
She doesn't sweat at all.
Welcome to LA, baby.
It's gooey, it's sticky, it's everything.
Are we bad at watching movies?
Here at Bad at Watching Movies, we watch some of our favorite movies, good or bad. We talk about everything from scenes to characters, and we always have something to laugh about.
Oh, yeah. So the summary of the movie from IMDb reads, two surfing lovers whose doomed relationship is nearing to a close find themselves swept into a dimension-traversing wave that sends them into a beach movie musical in the 60s.
Yeah, that about sums it
Yeah,
up.
okay.
So for our cast, main leading man is Ross Lynch, big Disney Channel boy.
Oh,
he was
yeah.
on Austin and Ally, which was like a little after my time.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of Austin and Ally, but it was definitely a few years after I was like, I don't think I should be watching Disney Channel anymore.
I think I'm too old for this. And then we came back and we watched this.
Yeah.
But I know him mostly from Sabrina, probably, because I really like that show.
Yeah. The other main gal is Maya Mitchell. She has been in some recent stuff. I think it's called Good Trouble is the show that she's in right now. I haven't seen it, so I'm not sure what it's about or if she's good, but seems like she's pretty prominent. I stalked her on Instagram last night, and she's, living her life, and found out today she's Australian,
Yeah, I had no
so
idea.
that's cool.
I was like, oh, well, she does a good American accent.
Yeah, and she's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And then
She's gorgeous.
to find out she's Australian, I'm like, all right,
Makes sense.
one step up.
Top tier.
Top tier.
And then we have Grace. I think she goes by Grace Gillum and Grace Phipps. I don't know if one's a stage name or if she got married or something like that.
Yeah, interesting.
When she wears her like pink biker outfit, it's like the cutest thing I've ever seen. And I love her voice. It's very much that 60s kind of alto-y where like
Yeah.
alto is more prominent. And
Yeah.
I appreciate that about this movie because
Yeah.
I feel like it's always like soprano tenors always get kind of the lead. It's still tenor
Yeah.
in this movie, but I like that it's an alto voice that really like takes everything home.
I feel like Mac also, Maya also has a lower register.
Yeah, I
She's
think so,
not
too.
of soprano for sure, I
Yeah,
feel like.
and it's really good. I think it
Yeah.
fits this movie well too.
Totally. And then the last main guy is Garrett Clayton. He plays Tanner. Only thing I really know him from is I think he was in Hairspray Live.
Yeah.
And so I think he's just kind of a musical theater guy. He might be doing some plays or some musicals somewhere, but
Yeah.
not really any movies that I know of.
Do you know what a twink is, Amy?
I've heard of. Is he a twink?
I would say he's a twink. He's
Okay. Like the
gay,
pretty boy.
The pretty looks very
Is he
clean
gay?
cut. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll jump right into it. And the movie starts off with like a surfing montage. It's our two main characters, Brady and Mac, and they're kind of like playing in the water. They're pushing each other around. It's cute. They're surfing together.
Oh, are they a couple? Yes,
Yes,
they are.
absolutely.
And the music in the background is like very poppy Disney Channel. It's definitely one of Mac's songs or like the actress
but
Maya's
so
songs.
auto-tuned.
Yeah, but you can tell it's her voice.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, they're like singing about the waves.
Yeah, it's like,
and-
I want to be the ocean to your shore. I want to be the oxygen you breathe.
Yeah. Okay, and there's a line in the song. She says something is for certain, and maybe it's the accent, but she says it certain,
Certain.
and I had to say something about it.
I had to write it down. I write down that there's like dubstep in the song.
Oh.
Kind of towards the end, it's like whoop, 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 whoop. And I'm like, this is a really great
Disney
way.
Channel.
Yeah, they started it off strong. And that montage kind of ends with them at a beautiful sunset. They're sitting in a lifeguard chair, and everything just seems so perfect. Like the
Yes.
perfect summer, perfect like teen love kind of vibe.
Yeah, and where do they live? Is it supposed to be like Hawaii or California?
I feel like it's California.
Okay, it's definitely filmed in California.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's supposed to take place in California.
I don't really know. They don't really
It's
talk
just
about.
warm and sunny and beachy.
they're kind of walking down the beach, and Mac is trying to tell Brady something, but in typical movie, he's like talking over her, like, "Oh my
Yeah.
God, the waves tomorrow are gonna be crazy." She's like, "Oh yeah, it's like I don't even know what it is, but it's like a big wave that they all
Yeah.
ride."
And we kind of get a sense of both their characters. Like, they both obviously very, like, love each other. Brady is very, like, goofy, happy, go with the flow.
Yes.
Mac kind of wants to be that way, but yeah, you can tell something's, like, tugging at her, so she's a little, like, reserved.
Yeah, and that's kind of the way through the whole movie, to be honest.
Yeah.
Brady's a little bit more like go with the flow, like I'm happy to be here, and Mac's a little bit more like internally just like
Yeah.
this is not okay. I need to get out of this kind
Yeah.
of thing. And so we end up meeting the grandpa who Mac lives with in this like really cute like beach hut.
Yeah. It's so cute.
And
I
it's-
want to live there. I want to vacation there at least.
I know. and he like builds and repairs surfboards.
Yeah.
Is kind of what his deal is. When Brady and Mac walk in the door, he's watching a musical called Wet Side Story. And I'm sorry, but that is a porn.
Yeah.
like,
Come on. Like, I get it's supposed to be, like, West Side Story, but, like,
yeah.
if you Googled that shit, you know what would pop up.
Yeah, like a porno like about West Side Story.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Maybe some bathing suits.
Yeah, like, no. Grandpa's watching that. Brady runs over because it's like their favorite musical.
Yeah, he loves this movie. It's very much, you can tell it's supposed to be like Wet Side Story. It's supposed to be like West Side Story, but also a lot like Grease. I feel like the bikers, and just some of the like themes of the movie are very Grease. To
Yeah.
me.
I mean, there's a sleepover later in the movie.
Yeah, I was like, this is Grease.
This is Grease.
So,
Very
yeah.
much so.
But I think it's just supposed to like mimic musicals from that era. It's meant to be very cheesy, very over the top. And Mac
Yes.
points it out. She's like, their hair is always perfect, even when they come out of the water. Like
Mhm.
the women just fall for the men for no good reason. Like like it's very dated. And
Yep.
he's like, yeah, it's just a goofy movie.
It's 1962.
Yeah, and Brady's like, I just like it because it's a musical. Like he's
Yeah.
very like, meh.
I don't appreciate Mac throughout this movie. She's kind of a downer.
She's a bit of a downer. I get it because she has something that she's like weighing on her, but at the same time, yeah, she doesn't want to just like have a good time.
No, and
Ever.
I don't love people like that. I'm like, just let loose a little. Like, just
Yeah.
be here, be in the moment.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, so they're watching the movie and there's a knock at the door. Mac goes to open it and it's her aunt Antoinette.
Yes, and that's exactly how she introduced
Yeah.
herself.
Aren't
Aren't you gonna hug your aunt Antoinette?
We're like, okay, established character. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Literally,
Disney.
The hair is like perfect little bun thing. The bangs, like she's meant to be uptight, and you know it from the second
And
she walks in.
judgy.
Oh yeah,
Very judgy. She's kind of rude. She kind of like looks around and is like, "Oh, you're still making surfboards? Oh, you're still doing this thing?" To
Which-
her father.
her dad. That's what I'm like. How did she end up like this? Like, if her dad is this cool surfer repair guy, like he
Yeah.
is very chill.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about her mother, so maybe she's different. I don't know, but it's just weird that she ended up this way.
Yeah. They never really go into anyone's backstory.
No.
You don't know Brady's family. You don't know really Mac's family at all.
Mm-mm.
Like, you don't know anything about anyone.
Yeah. It's
I
very
don't
empty.
know.
We know Mac's mom has passed, but we don't really know anything about her even.
Right. Like, what was she like? Or, you know, we don't have to know, but like Mac's dad, or like, it just seems like her whole family is just gone and it's just grandpa and auntie.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I would love a movie series or show something about all the dead Disney and Disney Channel parents.
Like their origin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a secret like afterlife party, then they're all hanging out.
And then she references this surfboard that's up on the wall with like a flower on it, and she was like, "Oh, you still have that?" And we learn that it's kind of been in the family for a
really long
while. That Max, like, we heard legends of that growing up. We all learned how to surf on that.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. That's been in the family, and that comes back later on. Like the surfboard is kind of like the
It's a
third.
symbol. It's important. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the third main character kind of
It really,
in this
yeah, it
movie.
is. Oh, and then so she spills the beans. The aunt is like, oh, and this is before Brady even gets to find out from Max. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a shock for him where she's like, hey, I'm going to take her away tomorrow and she's going to a prep school on the East Coast. Bye.
Yeah.
And Max like, yep, that's what I'm doing. Because when her mom passed, she wanted her to be successful, essentially, is kind of what she said. Like, I want her to be strong
Right.
and successful and, make her own path.
She reads from her mom's journal, which basically says, like, I want another life that I didn't have, and I want her to be successful in her life. So Mac takes that to mean, oh, I need to go to this prep school that my aunt wants me to go to.
Yeah.
So it's not specifically said that she wants her to go to this school, but Mac kind of has her own idea of what her mom wants
Right.
her to be.
Yeah.
And
I feel
that's
like everyone
what she
has
thinks.
that pressure. You
Oh.
hit mid-high school and you're kind of like, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go to college?
Absolutely.
That kind of thing.
I mean, there was
So-
a little part of me, like, I majored in business because my parents had an influence on that. And that's not
Right.
a bad thing, and I'm glad I did, but it's like you do get influenced by your parents, and you want to make an effort to make them happy and proud of you. So, you'll do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And she felt like
So.
her aunt always told her, this is the way to make your mom proud. So
Yeah.
she believed that and kind of goes with it.
So Brady finds out, and we kind of find out that the deal was that Mac would be able to live with Grandpa for the first couple years of high school, and then once things started to get a little serious, then her aunt would be able to take her to go to the school that her aunt went to when she had to get a little bit serious about her life.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the deal. That's why they decided to do that. And let's see.
Oh, and it's a big deal also for Mac that tomorrow is the day that she's leaving, because tomorrow there is supposed to be these waves
Right.
due to a storm, and it's
Right.
like the biggest waves. She says it comes like once every 30 years.
Yeah.
She really wants to be out there because she's like a good surfer.
Yeah.
And she's like, I really got to be there.
And her aunt's like, oh, sweetheart, your new life begins tomorrow. Your endless summer has come to an end. It's really sad.
What a, horrible thing to say. Like, that is a scary little omen. I don't like it.
Oh, sweetheart. It's like, shut
Your
up.
endless summer has come to an end.
Yeah. So Mac gets upset. She runs away. Brady follows her. They have the conversation about what her mom wrote in the journal about wanting her to be successful. Brady finds out about the deal with her aunt. And she basically breaks up with him because she's like, I don't see a future. I don't see an us past this point.
Yeah, which is fair, but
Very
it's
fair.
so dramatic. And I get it; they're teenagers, so it probably would go over this way, where they're
Oh
like,
my
"Why do you have to do
God.
this? Why are we?" And it's like, it makes sense, like if she's gonna move, but it also sucks that she did not say anything until this point.
Yeah, but I mean, I agree with that, but like there was a glimpse that she did try, but I
Yeah.
think I don't know. I hate it's a movie thing, but it's like I want to tell you something, but you keep talking over me. In real life, you'd be like, I need to tell you this.
Yeah, we're
Shut
gonna
the
have a
fuck up."
conversation. Yeah, and I feel like, yeah, exactly.
But in
Sit
movies,
down,
movies, they're
listen.
just like, oh, I can't say it, or oh, they're I
Yeah.
don't know. So Mac basically tells Brady they have to break up and tells him thanks for the best summer of her life and that she wishes it wasn't over.
Yeah. But
Foreshadowing.
official breakup. And then before she has to leave, Mac grabs the legendary, I was about to say skateboard, the legendary surfboard.
What movie are we doing?
That's teen bike skateboard movie. Yeah. So she goes on for one more surf because she's got to catch these waves. So she goes
Oh.
out there with the surfboard.
Yep.
It has this flower design on it. It's very pretty.
It's a beautiful surfboard. It's
Yeah.
this dark mahogany wood.
Yeah, it's very
beautiful.
classic.
Yeah.
I really like it. But then the waves get crazy and people are told to come in. The lifeguard's like, no, everyone needs to get out of here. This is bad.
It's like the green flag, and then they put up the red flag, which means get out of the water.
Yeah.
Grandpa shows up looking very concerned, because we just have to touch on the grandpa for a second.
We have to.
He's in the movie for maybe 5 minutes total.
Yeah.
Right? Sprinkled at the beginning and at the very end. And his expressions is it goes from he's concerned to happy to concerned, and there's no change.
Yeah.
There's no change.
I feel like he was on camera and there was someone behind the camera just being like, you need to react, giving him a look and waving to him, telling him what to do.
And he's just,
yeah, because his face is just plain. There's one time where he's supposed to be concerned, I think, or sad, and he just kind of closes his eyes and puts his head down, and you're like, What was that?
I don't know. There's something like to be said about like subtle acting and like it's powerful, but I'm sorry, it's a Disney Channel movie. We're not.
Yeah, he's not matching anyone. It's just
No.
like confusion and nothing.
Very out of place.
Yeah.
Because he should be like overacting. That's Disney
She's
Channel.
about to die. It's his granddaughter. Like he raised her, and
He's just like
might die out in the ocean. Yeah. I don't know.
It's
Oh, no.
so wild. And he has some moments at the end where he's happy, but it's like, are you happy, Grandpa? I can't tell. So yeah, so the lifeguard changes the flag to red. Brady jumps on a jet ski because Mac is not coming in.
Yeah.
So he rides out on a jet ski, tries to save her, and they actually get swept. They both fall off and they disappear in the ocean. She disappears in the ocean and Brady goes after her.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just like all of a sudden, beautiful day out, calm water. The surfboard goes, whoop, pops up. And then we see Brady and Max surface in the water and there is no storm. And they're confused.
It's beautiful. It's wonderful. Yeah, they get up on shore. They're like, where are we? And then you see people, like there's this beach shack. And all of a sudden you see people kind of like popping up above it, like they're on a trampoline and like kind of shaking.
Yeah.
And Mac's like, what the hell is going on up there? Like, where are we?
Yeah. It's so good. And then you hear songs in the background. It gets louder. And then we cut to our first song.
Yes.
Surf Crazy. Ride the
Surf
perfect
like
wave
crazy.
and say hi to the sky.
Hi.
And it's just this really fun, like, opening number. It's colorful. They have surfboards that they're dancing with. And I want to
love the
make a
surfboard.
note. This is throughout the entire movie. I give so many props to those dancers dancing in sand.
Oh my
How
gosh.
incredibly hard
Yeah.
that would be. And Mac and Brady run through the sand later in the movie. There's a lot of running in the sand, walking in the sand. The whole movie's on the sand.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, they probably got such a good workout.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Trying to like grip
Yeah.
your feet and like,
And dancing and running in sand is like, I don't
yeah.
like, and that's actual sand.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
They're on a real beach. Yeah. It's just, yeah. They do so many numbers on the beach. And then this is where we're introduced to the surfers, essentially. Like, they're the surfer gang, and
Yeah.
Tanner's kind of their leader, is like the main guy. And you can tell he's meant to be like the pretty boy. He has the smile that sparkles.
Yeah.
It's very cheesy, very funny. One of my favorite parts is when they go down the line and introduce themselves. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm Tanner. I'm Rascal. And my favorite character is Giggles.
Yes.
She always has like a frilly bikini on
Tassels.
because she's always shaking her hips and doing like a shimmy, and so they're always like moving around.
Yeah.
Really
She's the best. And she's kind of like a Britney, like a Glee Britney, because
Yeah.
I feel like they kind of brought her in to be like the best dancer, you know, and she is. She's
She is,
fabulous. But she really is just there to be a dancer and like hang out, and I love that. And at the end, she like when they leave, she like cries, and it's like this like it's so cute. I don't know.
Yeah.
She's the
I
best.
love her.
And then Mac, of course, is at the end of that call line and is like, "I'm Mac."
Yeah, everyone's so happy, and Brady jumps in. He's like, I'm Brady. Mac's just like,
Yeah, she's the worst. So after the number, everyone goes to Big Mama's, which is their version of, or which is in the place of Grandpa's surf shop
Yeah.
and their house. So
Yeah.
that's Big Mama's. It's kind of like the hangout where there's
Yeah.
food and drinks and things that the surfers hang out and the bikers also hang out. And they're, I guess we learn later on, but I guess I can touch on this. They're kind of fighting over it.
yeah,
There's a
they're
feud
rivals and
over.
they want it. Yeah,
They want it for themselves. They don't want anyone else to be able to use it.
right. But like, it's Big Mama's. I feel like it's up to her who stays and who goes.
I love her character.
Okay.
She doesn't really say much, Big
No.
Mama, but she's always
always
dancing.
happy, having a good time. Yeah, she really is.
Yeah, and so Brady and Mac actually walk in. The surfers are kind of like, "Who are you guys? Like, you don't talk like us." And then someone says, "We don't jelly roll to outsiders."
I love that. And all of the surfers have this accent, and they all, or not the surfers, the bikers.
Yes.
And they all, you know, they're talking like this.
Yeah, the soifas.
The soifas. We don't, all soifas is bad.
Yeah, so it's kind of turns into a little bit of like a dance because the bikers walk in this like this huge like moment, and all the surfers are kind of like, oh my gosh, and then the bikers now have their number that they get to dance and sing, and it starts off with your favorite part.
Oh my gosh,
with
yes. 'Cause
Layla.
Layla is in her pink biker outfit, which is like, it's just so cute.
It
First
is
of all,
very
and she's
cute.
very 60s with her hair and everything. And she swings her hips around and bumps it right into the jukebox, and the music starts.
Yes. And this is personally my favorite number from the movie.
It's so fun.
It's so fun. Brady gets involved at one point, and Max kind of like, what the heck is going on? And he is, okay, Ross, is it Ross
Yeah,
Lynch?
Ross Lynch.
He's so talented.
He's really good, yeah.
He's so good at dancing. I don't really know how his voice is because you never really can tell in these kind of movies if
Yeah.
they're actually like good singers. But I feel like he's a really good dancer.
Yeah,
They
he is.
hired some great
and
dancers
the lead,
for this movie.
The lead, like her Layla's brother, who's like the head of the biker gang.
Yeah, what's his name?
I don't know the character name. I keep forgetting.
Butchie.
Butchie. Yeah, Butchie. He is a great dancer.
Yes.
He is not singing this song. though.
No.
His voice is like a lot higher, and it's up here, and then it's like, you better run, run, run. And I'm like, that is not him.
That is not you. But he was probably more for acting and dancing, and they probably got someone to sing. And then I think there's, who was it? Oh, Layla's character. You can tell in the dance number that she's not a great dancer, but she's a great singer and actress.
Yeah.
I think you got to kind of like,
Yeah, you work with what you got, and
because not everyone's a triple threat.
no.
So
And they don't need to be, because
No.
her voice was made for this movie.
yes.
So,
Oh, 1,000%.
like, she crushes it.
So yeah, so very fun dance number. Favorite line: "Hanging with my brothers because his friends are so hot." That's Layla.
Oh, this is the one that has like, there's a part where the bikers and everyone are at like the soda counter, and they do like a trait where they're sliding the sodas around the table, and it's such a cool like choreographed thing.
Yeah.
And Brady gets involved, and then by the end of it, they all just like fly off the counter. So like they do this very well coordinated thing, and then they're like, fuck it.
Oh, fuck it. Oh my gosh. And Big Mama is loving it. She's having the great time. And then as soon as the number is over, Mac was like, "Oh, did you have fun?" Or she says something to Brady, and Brady's like, "I've always wanted to be in that number."
Yeah.
And it's funny because this movie resonates with me because like those musicals that you
wanna
love,
be it.
you want to
Yeah.
be in the number, and
Yeah.
he's literally getting to live his
Yeah.
dream, and Mac is being the worst.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, let him be happy.
It feels very Enchanted. Like,
Mm-hmm.
one is, like Giselle, and one is the other guy, Robert.
Yeah.
More grounded and kind of like, and the other one's like, let's have a musical number.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, then they're kind of like, okay, so how do we get out of this situation?
Right.
So, Mac and Brady have their little conversation outside of the shack, and she's
Yeah.
like, how do we get out of this? What do we do? They're kind of just like, I don't like the blocking of this scene. It's literally just in front of the stairs, and it's Mac yell, 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 cross in front of Brady. Brady yell, 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 cross in front of Mac. And then they do that about 30 times throughout this whole conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then at one point, this is what I had a problem with in the scene. At one point, Brady asks Mac for his phone, but then Mac's like, "Oh, it's 1962. Who the heck are you going to call?" But where's the phone at? Where is she keeping his phone?
like,
They were
is
literally
it
in the
water.
ocean.
Yeah, and I was like, do you have like a pouch? Like, and we never see
And
it
it's
either.
2013. They do not have waterproof iPhones yet.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
Get an OtterBox, put it in there, but like, I didn't see
But
that
where
happen.
is it?
I don't know.
Where's
It's all a lie.
And why is Mac holding on to his phone while she was... Doesn't make any sense because she was surfing when they got themselves into this mess. Why would she have his phone?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
But yeah, they kind of work through this thing of like, oh yeah, we have no one to get us out of here. We're trapped.
Yeah.
We're not really like, yeah, they're back in time, but they're in this movie world. It's a different dimension altogether because
Right.
these characters aren't actors playing characters. They are the characters. Like
Right.
Layla and Tanner and all those characters are like, that's what they are. It's almost
Yeah.
like they're cartoons.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So Mac and Brady realize that they need this storm to get out of the movie because I think Brady's like, well, there's a big storm that happens. And Mac's like, well, that's how we got here. So that's how we're going to get home.
Yeah. Which is just 3 days away. They can stay there for 3 days.
Yeah. And it's like, it moves along pretty quick too. It's like it cuts.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
immediately, so they're like, well, what happens? She's like, what happens next in the plot? And he's like, well, there's like a big beach party. Fast forward immediately. And she's like, wait, now I'm in a cute
Yeah.
night
They're all like
outfit.
dressed up.
Yeah.
And was like, I wish life worked like that.
I
We're
know,
just
movie
dressed.
magic. Could you
Yeah.
imagine, like, you snap your fingers, you're ready for the event, you're all dressed, makeup, everything
Yeah.
done, perfect.
And you can like skip the work week.
Oh my god, can we have the endless summer, please? Thank you.
So they get dressed up while they're waiting for the storm. They do go to the party. One thing I took away from the establishing shot of this party is the guy doing the bum bum ba dum bum ba dum ba dum bum. I just thought he was pretty funny. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but that kind of
That band
stuck
never
with
comes
me.
back either. They're like just in the one scene.
What were they called? Mama's Boys.
Mama's Boys. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and the biker gang shows up to this party, and everyone's kind of like, oh, why are they here? And he's trying to figure out, like, how am I going to take over
Yeah.
this
Ooh.
spot?
And we have a moment with giggles.
Yes.
She's like doing her whole vibrating thing. Literally, she just looks like a dashboard hula dancer. Kind
Yeah.
of thing, you know, like she's always moving like this. But she's talking to Sea Cat, who's one of the other surfers, and she's like, "It's getting him to stop. That's the problem." She like can't help it. Like she's always moving.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just cracks me up.
No, that's so funny. Oh, and then a biker gal quote. I think this is Chi-Chi.
Oh,
Chi-Chi, she says, Big Mama's is like a second home to me if I had a first one.
Oof. Like, what does that mean?
What does that
Do you have a hard
mean?
home life? Is it because you're like a movie character that doesn't have any backstory? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know.
Yeah. I think another thing to note too is all of the characters that are from the movie world are like very naive.
Yes.
Like they don't really know anything outside of this movie that I guess they probably just relive over and over again.
Yeah.
So just like they're just not aware of a lot of stuff in
No.
the world, and like conversation is very like weird and disruptive, and if it breaks what they normally would say in the movie, it's confusing for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think the movie replays like just over and over, or do you think when they have other eyes on them, it plays? You know what I mean? If someone's
Yeah, like,
watching it, or if someone
don't
like travels,
know.
or do you think that they just like live their life and then as soon as it's like showtime, it just
Time to
resets?
go. I don't know.
Huh. That's an
It's
interesting
very weird to
thought.
think about because like obviously Brady and Mac disrupt it.
Yeah, so that's why that they would go. That's why the movie would start because there's an outsider watching.
Yeah.
But do you think if it's just
Does it?
them?
Do they exist?
do
at
they
all?
exist? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Were they?
It's very. There's a lot of like questions I have about this movie world because obviously back in the day the movie had to have been like created.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's like the poster that's behind the grandpa and Brady have like actors' names,
Yeah.
things like that, and clearly they are actors.
Yeah.
But like, it's very
It's
deep.
confusing. Yeah.
It's very deep. And so we have a Layla song up next,
Ugh.
"Falling for Ya."
I love this one.
And this is the one where she's supposed to like fall off the stage and get caught by Tanner,
Mhm.
but
Something
happens and Mac ends up bumping into Tanner, and then she gets caught by Tanner, and then there's no one, and then Brady realizes, oh shoot, there's no one to catch Layla, and she's about to fall off the stage, so she catches her.
Yeah.
So now Layla is in love with Brady and Tanner is in love with Mac.
Which is so funny because it's like one instant and it's like love at first sight for those characters.
Yes.
Because that's how it was supposed to be for them.
But Brady is so happy because I noted this later. I was
Yeah.
like, it is like your favorite childhood like crush, or
Yeah.
like the guy that you know, the guy or gal that you like watched growing up that you were like, oh my God, I want this to happen to me, happened to Brady. Because
Yeah.
Layla is his like
Yeah,
crush.
it's his childhood crush. He used to watch this movie all the time, and now he's like, "Oh my god!"
And now she's in
actually
love
with
with me.
me.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine?
So Brady's a little happier than Mac. Mac's a little upset.
Yeah. Well, because Tanner's just a total ditz.
No, but I have a scene. So it's Tanner. Nice of you to drop in, Mac. Sorry I did not see you, Tanner. Now that you do you like what you see?
So much cheese.
So yeah, it's great. And yeah, so they're all with the wrong person now. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
What's gonna
and
happen?
This causes an issue. This is the first kind of like hiccup with the movie flowing. Like the
Right.
characters like don't know what to do. They're supposed to break out into this kind of like rival dance number,
Right.
and they never do it because they're like
There's no
the plot
conflict.
point is missing. Yeah, what's going on? So the characters are very confused.
Yeah.
And Brady is like, oh no, we just messed up the movie. They don't know what to do. And then Mac and him start to kind of piece it together of like, well, if now they're in love with us, is the storm even going to still happen? Like, because they need to take out the weird scientist guy, make the machine explode, have the storm happen, and then they go home.
Yeah.
I don't know how that makes sense, but somehow
Doesn't
it
make
makes sense.
It doesn't
That's
make
their
sense.
logic. That's just them guessing, you know? And then they like the whole plot is built on them being like, I think that's how this works. Which is very weird to me, but okay.
Yeah. And this is kind of where we start to learn a little bit more about the science, the evil.
Yeah, there's like the realtor guy who wants, I hate this part of the movie.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of notes about this, about the villains of this movie because I just don't care.
Yeah,
enough.
they're not like, I get the point of the Wet Side Story movie is it's supposed to be over the top and it's supposed to be so cheesy. And all these characters do a great job of being that. Like Layla, Tanner, all of them are very like, like I'm just a caricature.
Yeah.
But they did not need this like evil realtor who's trying to cause a storm so then both the bikers and the surfers leave so he can have the property and start a hotel. And he has like a scientist buddy who is the one making this weather machine that causes the storm. I just felt like it was like almost too much. And this movie's too much all the time and I'm okay with it. But this part, I hate it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, it's very, very out of place for what the movie is.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be making fun of like West Side Story and Grease and like that era, but like I don't know of a weird, wacky scientist from those movies.
No, it just kind of takes you out of it because it feels like two different movies in a way.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, well, there's these like stupid real estate guy and this really stupid scientist, and they have these like banters that go back and forth, and it's just not funny to me.
Yeah, I wanted it to be goofier because like when Tanner and Layla have their weird character moments, it is funny.
Yeah,
and it's goofy.
It's cute.
But when these two are doing it, I'm like, I feel like this is for something else. Like if it was like a superhero movie that they're getting trapped in, would totally make sense.
Yeah.
But this does not make any sense.
No, it's like they needed to fill like 20 minutes of the movie, so they're like, oh, let's just stick this. I don't know. I don't know.
Weird. It's so weird.
So anyway,
I guess it's kind of like the common enemy to bring everyone together at the end, but
they could have done another thing.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Brady and Mac realize that after breaking into their secret lair, which is a lighthouse, they need to get Layla and Tanner back together so they can save the day and get back home. So they decide, okay, we need that. Our next goal is to get Tanner and Layla together.
Yeah. Which is another part because Brady's like, it has to explode. They have to like destroy it and make it happen. And I'm like, so why didn't you two just go and destroy the machine and not have the other characters do it?
I don't know.
Like, I don't get it. But anyway, yeah. So they're like, we need to do this. So now their plan is, okay, let's deflect them off of us because they're in love with us.
Yeah.
And get them to each other. So they try all these different tactics.
Yeah. So Brady and Layla go for a walk on the beach while Mac goes to talk to Tanner. The plan is they're going to make them fall in love with each other. Mac to Tanner is just a funny Tanner thing. Mind if I join you, Tanner? Yeah, I would want to join me too.
Always full of himself.
It's so funny. Most of the lines that I quote from this movie are Tanner lines.
They're so funny.
There's
multiple times where he says something that's like a quote that's obviously like something from like Shakespeare or something, and they're like, "Who said that?" And he's like, "Me."
That was me.
I said that.
Yeah, she goes, "Was that Shakespeare?" And Tanner goes, "No, that was me." It's just very. Oh, and there's a really cute. I didn't note this down, but later on, when Mac and Layla are having a sleepover, Mac's like a little upset, and she goes, "Oh, I'm just feeling a little homesick." And Layla's like, "Oh my gosh, is it the decor?" And she's like, "No, I'm not sick of your home." It's like just like the literal.
Yeah.
They take it so literally.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Which part of it's probably time period, like, is that something they said back then? And the other part of it is that there's just these characters that don't know anything about the real world. So.
Right. And Mac is like, "Oh, do you play guitar?" And he's like, "I know."
This is like, I'm trying to
in
like,
a normal
ask you
life.
about it.
That's how I like make conversation. It's just so good.
God.
And then cue another song, "Meant to Be."
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of about like, two people meant to be together.
Yeah, and everything that Tanner and Layla say are very superficial of the time. Like, you want a boy who's hot, and you want a girl who says yeah and good. And the other two are like, Mac's like, no, you want a girl who's like you, who likes music like you do. And Brady's like, you want that like perfect boy, like you're not looking for me kind of thing. Like they're trying to point each other at the right one.
But it doesn't work. So they end the song, and the next step is to talk now. Mac is going to talk to Layla, and Brady's going to talk to Tanner.
Yeah.
So now they're just going to attack the same sex, I guess.
Yeah.
And be
just,
like,
oh. Have a conversation. Bro to bro.
Bro to
gal
bro.
gal.
Right. So, yeah, so Mac gets invited to the girls' sleepover with all the gals.
Very Grease moment.
Yeah. And they're like hanging out, doing their hair. What is her name? Chi-Chi? Did I say Chi-Chi?
Yeah.
She's getting her hair done. And then the other gal's like, you need to look out for ceiling fans because it's like up there.
It's huge and I love it.
Yeah. And so they're all trying to look, they're all like doing their nails and stuff. And Mac is trying to tell the girls that they don't need a guy to like dress up, to not tell them what to do.
Yeah, because it's the 60s. They're very like, oh, I want a boy to notice me, so I need to like kind of dress like cute and with like tight clothes.
I want them to tell me what to do. They should, they get to make the decisions. And Mac's like, why? Like, you don't need a boy to be happy. You don't need a boy to tell you what to do or to dress up or blah, blah, blah. Kind of our modern takes.
And the girls are like, no, you can't do that. And like,
you can't ask out a boy.
Yeah. And Layla has the thing. She's like, you can ask him with your eyes. And she like holds the like dress behind her eyes and blinks.
Which the dress is blue and she has blue eyes and it's just like they pop. And I'm like, damn, she's so pretty. And then the guys, it cuts to the guys at Big Mama's, and one guy is playing Angry Birds in real life is the joke.
It's such a weird joke. He's like, yeah, I have this slingshot and I'm always trying to knock this angry bird out of the tree. And Brady's like,
Angry Birds?
Angry Birds?
And like, okay,
I'm
cool.
like, this movie has another moment like that near the end, and I'll talk about it then. It's just like a weird, like, it was supposed to be a modern reference, but it's already very dated and it's weird. And Angry Birds is one of them. Because I'm sure maybe some people still play Angry Birds if you're like 7. But
Top Golf.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the only place I play Angry Birds is Top Golf.
So it's a thing, I guess, but it's not in its heyday like it was.
No.
And so then we have the boys essentially have like the same conversation as the girls, but about male roles and like you need to be tough. Girls want to be asked out. They want a burly big man, which is funny because like Tanner's not necessarily that either. He's kind of flamboyant and like, but he feels like he has to be that.
But he's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because they kind of touch on the bikers
point,
too. And he's like, I don't know. I feel like we could all hang out and get along. And Layla's kind of like that too, where she's like, I don't know. I feel like we can all hang out and get
We'd
along.
probably be fine. Yeah. But that's just the way it's been, which is a big point of this movie is like, that's the way it's been. So it has to be that way. And like, we're breaking the norms.
Yeah. Oh boy.
We are. And then we have the song. Right?
Yeah, Like Me. I know what girls like, boys like me. And then I know like what boys like, girls like me.
Yeah.
So they're all singing and they like they all change like outfits. And I love the leather pink skirts that the gals wear.
It's so cute.
It's so cute.
the whole number is really fun. I love that it's all about like the outfit changes and stuff. And I love when they're standing behind like what is that called? It's just like a barrier for when you're getting dressed. What is that? Like the Foley thing?
I don't know what the technical name is, but yeah, it's like a dressing room.
Yeah,
kind
and the
of.
guys have that and the girls have that. Or actually, I think guys might be mirrors, but they're similar looking. And I love when they fold down and they're microphones. Like it's a stage.
Yeah, and it's like a trio of guys, trio of girls doing it. The middle guy of the guys, I never really noticed it when I was watching it, but he's cute.
The middle one?
The middle one.
Yeah. And then, okay, but the other one, who I thought was named Roscoe, but is Rascal, because I just looked at the cast.
Rascal?
Rascal. I thought it was Roscoe, because the way he says it in the movie. But he looks way older than everyone else, okay? They're all supposed to be teenagers. Not that any of them look like teenagers.
No.
Maybe the main two could pull it off, but, like, maybe. Definitely older than teenagers, but he looks just like way older than them, and I'm like, okay, like, all right, you're a teenager, sure.
You're probably like 25.
Yeah. Oh, and this song is just so funny. There's something about where like Mac's like, oh, like ask him on a date, and then Layla goes, no, bake him a pie, and she has a pie, and I'm just like, this movie, like.
Yeah. And yeah, it's basically like Brady and Mac being like, no, that you can be modern. You can, show your, like, Brady's like, no, you guys, you can show your emotions to girls. Because they're like, oh, no,
and you can let them take the lead sometime. Like, you can be relaxed. You don't have to be, Yeah,
so they're trying to, like, influence them, but they're all like, no, I know what girls like. No, I know what girls like. Yeah. It's kind of like this, like, fight between the modern people and then the 1962 people. Yeah, and I hate Mac's outfit at the end.
Oh,
I
her
put
like
that-
biker. It feels very much like Sandy at the end of Grease, where she's supposed to be all leathered up, and it's like,
yeah, I just don't.
now you like me
well,
this
Sandy
way.
looked good.
Yeah.
She just it looked.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
She's out of place. She's very
Yes.
much out of place. But I think that's on purpose because she obviously doesn't like it. She's
Mm.
like, I don't like this, but
No, I didn't like it either, girl.
yeah,
So
I feel you.
I'm there with you. Mac and Tanner. So it's the next day. Yeah, it's the next day. Mac and Tanner go surfing, and it's like this just humorous surfing where they're just hair's perfect, and they're
it's
just
obviously green screen, but
Yeah.
it's supposed to be because it's the movie.
like it's the movie. Their
And he's
hair
like,
is dry.
he obviously, just like, and he's like, I'm so good. And he's just standing there.
And then Mac kind of like surfs off ahead of him, and then they're having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's like, "Oh, I've never been beat by a girl before," blah blah blah. And it's like this kind of like cool moment between Tanner and Mac that I feel like is super real.
yeah.
And Mac's like, she's kind of like talking about herself in a way, but it's like it is like your heart is telling you one thing, but you have to do something else. And because they're kind of talking about like hating the bikers, and he's like, I don't think it really needs to be that way. And she's like,
Right.
well, it's like your heart is telling you one thing, but you have to do something else. Like it's always been this way.
Mhm.
But to her, that's also like, well, the going to school or
Yeah, she
staying.
feels like she has to do what her aunt tells her. It's the
Right.
same thing. This is where they connect.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think it's a really cute moment. And Tanner's like, it's always that something else that gets in the way. And and Mac goes, you know, you're a pretty smart guy. And Tanner, yeah, but more pretty.
I
And
love
then
that
walks
line.
away.
Yeah, but more pretty.
I just feel like it's like Tanner gets down on like a human level, and then
Yeah.
they bring him back up.
Yeah,
you know, and I
exactly.
kind of like that. I like that scene a lot.
Yeah, he's slowly understanding, and but then he goes right back to his old cheesy self.
Right.
Layla, we find out, wants to surf,
Yeah.
and she's like, I know it's such a big deal, like girls shouldn't be surfing, and Mac's like, girl, I surf all the time, I will teach you how to surf, it's gonna be great.
And it's a double whammy too, because bikers aren't supposed to be surfing.
Right.
So it's being
It's
a
a
girl,
big deal.
and it's also she's a biker, and her brother's the head
Yeah,
biker.
all soifas is bad.
All Swaifas is bad. And I think Mac and Layla kind of bond in this moment because I think because Mac kind of makes a comment. She's like, you're not at all what I thought you would be.
Yeah, she thought you're just gonna be this stereotypical girl, like blah 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 blah, and she realizes like, no, like Layla's a real person. She has feelings.
Yeah.
She wants to break free from all this, but she doesn't know how.
Yeah. And it's kind of like the Tanner moment she had. I feel like it's just like they're both kind of like, I don't know. It's just the way it's always been, but my heart is telling me something else, and
Yeah.
I want to do more, but like it's just the way it's always been. And that's the same for Mac with her whole struggle of going to school or staying with. It's just the way it's always been, and I
Yeah.
kind of love. I don't know. I kind of love that. Like,
It's a very like on the nose thing, but
Yeah.
they do it well, and it's
Mhm.
good for like a kids teen kind of movie of like
Yeah.
these two make sense, and this is why it's a good like commentary on like this is why we like art and stories in general is because
Right.
we relate. Like that's the point. And
Yeah.
it's like literally it's thrusting her into the movie and being like, this is how you relate to the movie.
Yeah.
But it works.
Mac tells Layla, "Oh, we can make that happen. Brady actually taught me how to surf. I'll
Mhm.
talk to him and meet him in the morning, and he can teach you how to surf." And they're very excited.
Yeah.
She's so excited to do this.
But she has another plan.
Yes. So it's the next day. Layla is waiting by the water. And then we cut to Mac asking Tanner if he wants to go for a walk, and he gives her with like a really cute flower crown. And I like Tanner.
Yeah.
He's sweet.
He's meant to be sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a really sweet character. And then we're back to the evil scientist guy, real estate guy. They're gonna create a humidity, create unpleasant weather to make
We
everyone.
know what they're gonna do. We don't care.
Everyone sweat and sticky, whatever. They turn the machine on, it strikes the ocean, and it makes waves go away. I don't fucking know what's going on.
I don't. Yeah, I'm like every time it cuts to them, I'm like, we could probably just skip.
Yeah.
and whatever.
I put a little bit, but I don't go to too much detail because I hate the characters. I just don't get
the
it.
plot point doesn't need to be there.
No.
I think they realize that. Just a spoiler for everyone, there is a sequel. They're not in the sequel.
No.
With good reason.
We should definitely do the sequel.
Oh, I love the sequel.
So Mac and Tanner are on their walk, but Mac's like, "Oh, I need to go talk to Brady," and sends Tanner in the direction of Layla. And then the evil keep plotting. Honestly, I don't care. I hate the subplot is what I wrote.
Same.
Mac and Brady are talking, and Mac falls into the ocean, but her hair is not wet.
Yeah.
So it's like, holy shoot, we are becoming part of this movie.
Yeah, we're now, like, what's happening to us? Are we going to be ourselves?
Because there's one point, too, earlier in the movie where her sweatsuit or her wetsuit disappears.
Yeah.
And then they're kind of freaking out, like, does that mean we're going to disappear?
Yeah.
You know, because it didn't exist
Yeah, pulling
in
a
the
whole
movie.
Back to the Future where the people
Right.
just dissolve in thin air because timelines are whacked out.
Sure.
And then we get there because now they're starting to become part of the musical. They get trapped in a musical number where they can't help but sing and dance, and I love it.
It's fun. There's actually like props. It's very over the top and cheesy. There's like there's an ocean behind them, but then they bring in people to make an ocean.
Yeah, little like fish on sticks.
Yeah.
And, but I also love that it's all the other characters doing it. So it's like the other surfers, the other bikers, and they're all like out there doing it, because when they scurry off you see that it's them, and you're like, oh my gosh, like this movie.
Yeah, it's so good. That's such a fun number.
Oh, and they randomly start tap dancing too during it, and
like at the end
he does a backflip. It's a whole thing.
It's a great number. They run off to find Layla and Tanner. And then Tanner finds Layla while she's waiting for Brady. Tanner's like walking, and then Layla's standing, and then they kind of hook up together. Mac and Brady are being followed by the real estate agent and the scientist, and they get kidnapped.
Oops. But luckily, for the sake of we need to get Tanner and Layla together, they're starting to hit it off.
Yeah.
They have a little conversation. They're like, oh, like we're kind of different. And then we're like, oh, we're actually really similar, and we like the same things, and we both want to surf. And it's funny though, because then they immediately fall for each other, and they're like, but now how do we tell the others, like we're not in love with them anymore?
And they both have the same like I don't know, like brain in a way, where it's like where Tanner was like, you know what, and she's like, no, I didn't know that. like how do you have a conversation with someone like that? You know what I mean? Like, oh, I see you play guitar. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do.
It's like, okay.
That's all.
That's all I'm gonna say. It's like, okay, you guys, I don't know, but they love each other.
They do.
You know what I mean? They're like perfect for each other. They're supposed to be together. That's the whole point of the movie.
Right.
And they have a reprise of Meant to Be.
Yeah.
Which is very cute. And but they realize, oh shoot, we need to tell Brady and Mac, because we kind of are seeing them too.
Yeah, and they're like, where are they? And then they just like do this quick little like pose. Ah, I know where they are. And they run off and go try to save them.
Yeah. So they run back to the surfers and bikers at Big Mama's, because they're like, guys, we need to save Brady and Mac from these evil scientists that are trying to change the climate. Like, how the fuck did you know that?
I don't know. But they're like, hey, this affects all of us, so we all need to be there.
Yeah.
Everyone gets on board.
And there's a moment where you think the brother's going to like kill Tanner, because they find out that they're together, and the brother just ends up crying, and it's like, I'm so happy for you.
It's very Hello Dolly.
Yes.
Where the judge is just like broken into tears and everything's fine because he's emotional.
Yeah. And then we're back with the evil real estate people.
Yes, and essentially, they tell the scientist guy, like, you're just in a movie. This is nothing. It doesn't mean anything. You're not a real person.
And he believes him.
And he like starts to figure it out, and like looks at the audience, and it breaks the fourth wall a couple times, and it's weird.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the gang shows up to save the day.
Yeah. But before that, of course, Mac and Brady have to sing their rendition of Meant to Be.
It's a little slower.
And Mac has a line, what is the hurry to grow up when I can be stuck in 1962 with you?
Yeah, she finally gets on board and is like, you know what? This wasn't so bad. Like,
no.
We got to have more time together.
Yeah.
I was supposed to leave in like an hour, and now I get to spend 3 days with you in this movie.
With
singing,
no
dancing.
parents?
Yeah, like it's a good time. I made new friends. Wow, maybe I should just like do the things that I want to do.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. So everyone comes in, and there's this like chaotic scene. They're running around the machine, and everyone's like hitting it. There's one of the biker gals just like, she's hitting it with, it's the bubblegum girl.
Yeah.
She's just like sitting there hitting it with her heel. And I'm like, you're not doing anything. Layla realizes, oh, it's like one of those like 5, 6, 7 model motorcycles that
it's just like a motorcycle engine. There's no way. Look at that thing. It's like electric. I don't know.
What's his name? Butch.
Butchie.
Is like, well, I can't get to it because of my sausage fingers.
Yeah.
And she's like, I got it. Pulls a bobby pin out, sticks the bobby pin in. Something happens. And then it's about to blow up. They all run out. The scientist guys get blown up into the air.
Like, it's so much.
And then
It's
the next scene, they're just floating in the ocean on something.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's
honestly.
exhausting to think about. I just don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, though, the point of it all is they save the day.
Yeah, they're back together. Plot is back on point.
Yep.
So they're good to go. And now they're like, oh, I guess we have to leave. We have to get in the ocean while this, like, the storm's still happening. So, like, I don't understand if they
But
solved
what
the problem.
storm? I feel like there's never like a storm.
It's not that bad. It's just like kind of cloudy.
It's like an overcast day.
But they're like,
a
I guess if we go
storm.
in the ocean now, we'll go back home, and we have to go, and they want them to stay.
There's a lot of crying.
Yeah. And then Layla gives Mac her necklace. Her necklace flower matches the surfboard flower.
Right. And in Hawaii, you might be right that it's in Hawaii because doesn't she say that like it's flower, it's like Hawaiian for friendship?
Yeah. So maybe like it could be that Mac and Brady are from California, but then when they're on this new whatever beach
It's
in the movie, it's
Hawaii.
Hawaii. I don't know.
Could be.
I also wonder if that has something to do with the grandpa or the legend of the surfboard. Like they're connected because it's the exact same symbol. We never learn. But I'm like, maybe the actress who played Layla was like a lover of someone in Mac's family way back when. I don't know.
That could be.
Or no, that wouldn't make any sense. I was like, maybe it's one of those weird time loopy things where like they were always destined to get together. You know, like this is a very big tangent. The third Harry Potter movie.
Okay.
You know how it all ends where like they realize, wait, that was our future selves coming to the past to do that thing where
Yeah.
like they throw stuff at each other and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, we already did this, but we didn't do it because it's the
They
future
were
and the past.
helping us from.
I'm wondering if there's some weird time loopy thing happening here, but
Oh.
Disney Channel, I don't know.
I don't know if they would go that deep.
I don't think so either. There's a scientist who shoots off in a
I think that they should have just like killed them because I actually had
murder.
I actually had this thought because like when I watched it twice, and when I watched it for the first time because it had been a little bit since I watched the movie, I was like, do they really kill these guys? But then they didn't. I had a little glimmer of like, oh my god,
Maybe they die.
maybe they die, but they didn't. They
I
didn't.
love that. Why don't they kill them? So yeah, then
Yeah.
Mac and Brady get back in the ocean, hoping that if they ride this next wave, they'll get transported back to the real world.
Yeah.
And they do.
And they do, and they're literally right where they were when they went underwater.
Yeah,
Right?
and
Everyone's
the
watching them.
camera, it's covered in water.
Yeah.
It's a GoPro or something.
It's a,
This movie was like
are
height
they
of
actually
GoPro.
surfing or do they have stunt
I don't know.
doubles?
She's Australian. Automatic good at
And
surfing.
Ross Lynch can do anything. I believe that he is a superhero and
She
can do
probably
anything.
can surf a little bit, but I don't think she's surfing those huge waves. That probably is a
Yeah.
double, but I don't know.
I really couldn't figure out in the
They
beginning
do actually a
montage.
decent job of covering it up if it is, because I couldn't. Usually, you can tell these movies like that is not her. but
Yeah.
it's
Could
hard to
be.
tell.
She is Australian. You're right. Australians are surfers.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen
Um,
Dance Academy, so
Yeah, me too. And so, yeah, everyone's watching from the shore, and Brady's like, "This is your moment. Get that wave. I'm not gonna rescue you." And he rides back in on his jet ski.
yeah, which is good. I feel like he wanted to like protect her, but he's like, "No, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're the best surfer ever.
Yeah.
Crush it. Ride this last wave. We'll go from there."
Yeah.
Which I think is sweet.
No, yeah, he lets her kind of just like do her thing. Even Grandpa, very concerned, and then happy, but there's not too much change in emotion from him. Again,
It goes from kind of flat face to flat face with jaw open a little bit.
and he does smile. He does smile at one
there's
point, but
there's a smile. But yeah, I never know. Like, if it were based off of how he was reacting, I have no idea what's going on.
yeah. So Mac rides the big wave. Everyone is so happy.
Mm-hmm.
Mac basically like tells her aunt like, I really don't want to go. That's not where my heart is. You know, Mom would have wanted me to be happy, and I'm most happy here.
Yeah,
And her aunt's kind of like, all right, cool.
yeah. The aunt says the Burger King slogan, and is like, "Have it your way," and then leaves. That's what she does.
Have it your way. Oh my god, I did not even catch that.
I watch too much TV.
And then the movie kind of ends with a big dance number, Surf's Up. It's fun,
Yeah.
but it's not my favorite.
It's not my favorite song. It's not my favorite dance. It is in the real world, so I feel like it's not supposed to be as like produced. It's just like everyone in the real world is now dancing and doing a surf song. It's very much like we're all in this together, where it's
Yeah.
not necessarily supposed to be the characters maybe dance like it is, but it's kind of also just like it's a curtain call song.
Right,
That's what
right.
it is.
They go into the movie goes into some bloopers, which are kind of fun. I don't know if you watched
I love the
towards
bloopers.
end.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun to see the characters, and then the movie ends with like a little cutscene of some of the movie people. I think it's Layla, Butch, Chi-Chi. Is it Chi-Chi?
Chi-Chi, Tanner.
Tanner, and that bubblegum gal.
Yeah.
They all.
Which I don't think is who it is in the sequel, but I don't think it's the same crew. I think it's literally just the two.
I think it's just the two
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
But yeah, it kind of sets up the next movie. But they're now in the real world.
Yeah, because they're like, our hair, it's wet.
And they see a guy with a cell phone, and Siri talks to them, and they're
This is the
so
moment.
confused.
Yeah, this part I'm like, what? And he's like, where are you guys? You guys aren't from here. And he does this whole thing like, do you need to use my phone? And he holds the phone to them, and it's a picture of Justin Bieber, and they're like, ah! And I'm like, I don't get the joke, first of all.
No.
Second of all, if you're going to offer someone your phone to like help them get in contact with someone, why wouldn't you open like the phone app? Why would it not be like with the number? Why are
Or
you
be like-
Justin Bieber picture?
Or be like, can I type the number in for you? Because
Yeah.
clearly you're
A
little lost
I'm just
here.
Like, what is this? And also, did they get permission to have Justin? It's Justin Bieber, right? That's on that phone.
I
I
can't.
swear that it is, but it's not 2008 anymore, so I just don't know.
I
like,
just don't
what's-
know. Yeah.
This movie, I don't know when this movie came out, but
But-
2011.
2013, I think.
Oh damn, I'm old.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe no. Yeah, I guess we were. Yeah, I don't want. Yeah.
But anyway, that's the end of the movie. It's a good one. It has really fun songs. I think the music is fantastic. Sam and I listen to it pretty much every time
All
we
the
get in the car
time,
together. So it's always on a
'Cause Fallin'
playlist.
For You, great song.
And the Fallen for You in the second movie, the
Ooh.
Fallen for You, Fallen for You. Like the
yes.
sped up is so
Yes.
fun. We'll definitely cover the second movie. Not sure if it'll be this summer or maybe we'll save it for next summer. Final thoughts is it's just a really fun movie.
Yeah, it's just goofy. It knows what it is. The thing that this movie can get away with is they're transported into a movie that is already supposed to be over the top, cheesy, dated because it's from the 60s. So they can get away with a lot of just like nonsense.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
Only part I don't like, again, is the villains. They don't need to be there. It's unnecessary.
Yeah. It's like, it's just
they're not going to sing a song. They don't even have a villain song. So
Yeah.
why are they here?
Maybe they'd be better off if they had a villain song.
A little duet, like that would be fun.
That would be cute.
Yeah, something.
Come on,
but
Disney.
Nope.
Thanks so much for watching and listening, and we appreciate all of you. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Thanks for listening and tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Okay.
She doesn't sweat at all.
Welcome to LA, baby.
It's gooey, it's sticky, it's everything.
Are we bad at watching movies?
I think that they should have just like killed them.